Today is Saturday, March 3rd, 2018. Welcome to the Survivor Fans Podcast. I'm Joanne.
And I'm Stacy.
And this is the listener feedback show for the premiere of Survivor Ghost Island.
I really like that intro.
The remix. Good job, Arron.
Aaron's done a new remix specific for Ghost Island. I think I hear a ghost talking in the beginning.
You can hear several.
Yeah. So, I enjoyed that. And we'll play the whole thing at the end. That's just a little bit of an intro with a fade in for us to get it going. And wow, we had some big response to the premiere.
We did.
What's our total?
28 people
super fans.
In.
Yes, the real super fans. The super fans.
Super fans.
Right, on Survivor Fans Podcast. This is our listener feedback show. Joanne and I do a recap on Wednesday, and then on Saturday, we flip the script and turn it over to you. It's your turn to sound off on what you saw in that episode and offer predictions for what's coming next with unique insights from your life experience. It's a fantastic show. I'm excited to dive in. Is there anything you'd like to say before we get started?
I do not believe so.
Well, then we're off. Off to the races with Pete.
Hey, Joanne and Stacy. This is Pete from Boston calling here. Yeah! Let's let out a great big woo! That was a doozy-woozy premiere of 2 fantastic hours. So let me get right into it. First of all, let's talk about Gonzalez's vote. That was a little bit of a shocker. I didn't see that coming at all. I thought she had potential to be a strategist. And all I could say is maybe the reason why they got rid of her was because they saw her as a strategic threat, which Stephanie, I think, pointed out. And I think Brandon realized it, too. And I think they didn't like her, maybe how she felt like she would have done better in that puzzle challenge either, in the first immunity challenge. So she was sort of voted out because she was a threat. But I want to get into Jacob, though. Wow. I mean, it's great to have a super fan since day one. But, man, to me, he kind of pulled a Cochran almost. Because he clearly, he was too into himself and too into, wanting to play the game too soon. He was panicking, because, look, he told Stephanie everything, this and that, including giving the legacy advantage to Morgan. Oh, that's going to bite her in the butt, let me tell you. Morgan I'm talking about. Wow. I mean, I hope she plays it right, but we'll see. That was a major bluff with Jacob. And then to say he had a fake idol was just the icing on the cake to me. I mean, Brandon, I think, saw right through it, saying that he didn't have the note. So, but hey, it was a good try, and I like that he put in the time and the effort, and he tried because he knew he was on the outs, but it didn't work out, and I wasn't surprised. I was surprised. I still thought somehow Michael or James was going to get blindsided more. I didn't think Michael, but I thought James might because of his bad performance in the challenge, but then I knew not. Jacob was gone because they didn't trust him. And man, how about Donathan, guys? I really like Donathan. I mean, it's a shame he's a liability, and he's probably going to be dragged along, but he's a big character, and I got to say, good for him there for stepping up when James couldn't, for whatever reason, dive underwater. He had to get off the platform, grab the goggles, and dive, and he got it in one try. That was just amazing there. I mean, I didn't see that coming at all. And then Brendan's turned into a good player. Let's get into the other team real quick. How about Chris and Dominique? Already we have a rivalry going there. Chris, I think you guys said it, Joanne and Stacy, has surprised surprised a lot of people, including me. I was a little skeptical in that move he made in the beginning when he pulled the latch there. And I love that he saw, looks like right through Dominic. And I do like Stephanie. Which one of you guys picked Stephanie as your USB? She's one of my favorites right now, for sure. And Brendan's a pretty big gamer as well. But my question for you guys, Joanne and Stacy, is what's going to happen with the tribe swap? We don't know who's going to end up where. And what if Stephanie and Morgan are on the same team? More to come, guys. This is a great premiere. Take care. I love this episode. Woo!
All right.
All right. My theory is they're going to go to 3 tribes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you said that
There's
pretty early on after
18.
when we were talking about it on Thursday.
Well, to you and I don't know that I
Yeah.
said it on the podcast.
No, we didn't get to it on the recap, but
No,
it was,
but it was
on
us
your mind when
still
you got up
talking after.
the next morning. Yeah.
I said, I bet they go to 3 tribes because there's 18,
Yep.
so 6
That
per
would
tribe.
work. That
Go
would
to
work.
3 for a while just to shake it up, and then remix again and go back to 2.
I am anxious. I really do want to see what happens when Stephanie and Morgan end up together. So. Yeah.
Well, and it's Stacy that chose Stephanie.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
That would not be me. I thought she would be first out. So,
As did so many, underestimating Stephanie. Good deal. Thanks, Pete. Next up, we got an email from Mike in Omaha. Zoink, Scooby. Way to begin the spookiest season ever. The gang's all here, so let's pile out of the mystery machine and turn on our flashlights. I was unastounded with the theme of Ghost Island last year, and little has changed. I do like that we get to see old idols and snuffers and all. That's cool. But it just straddles a line of being hokey and stupid a little too much for me. Again, I will shout, you don't need these schemes for a season to be successful. Good casting is what makes an excellent, triumphant season of Survivor. Amen. I agree. Despite the way this season is skewing so young, I think this is a good, clever group, and I'm pretty excited about them as a whole. I do wish they would change up their archetypes a little. Jacob and Dominic both immediately bored me because I feel like we've seen this, done that. That isn't fair to them because they aren't carbon copies of anyone else, but I feel like CBS needs to rotate their cast archetypes. Gonzalez needs to blame the Ghost Island twist because had Jacob been available for the boot, she'd have survived and might have survived the second too. Jacob. Now this is painful to watch. In a way, I'm glad it happened. Selfishly, because I like variety and I was getting sick of these nerds always waltzing to the end. But in larger part because maybe this will remind casting that if you're going to bring a superfan onto the show, they need to have some social acumen. John Cochran, Ryan Ulrich, these were clever guys. Jacob should have just reminded all the nerds back home with zero social skills to figure, hey, maybe I can do it too. Yeah, maybe you can't. If you're going to apply, you need to remember this is a social game. I have to agree with what Stacy said about Donathan diving in that challenge. Yeah, Donathan, you're expected to do that. Let's not throw a parade. I love that line. Let's not throw. That summed up my response exactly. Let's not throw a parade. Your tribe still lost. Next time, don't hesitate to attack the challenge, Donathan. Not much to say about Naviti because they were barely shown. Last season, my USB Chrissy got the first confessional, and this season, my USB Kellen got it. Let's hope it's not unwarranted. I had this strange feeling about Michael, like I was almost going to pick him just on a fluke, but I decided, nah, stuck to my guns and went with Kellen. I was right with you, Joanne. I had Jenna going out, though, according to Gonzalez, Jenna's name was being thrown around after Brendan took pity on Donathan. Chris's observations didn't really surprise me. He is a working model. Being social and interacting with people is their business. It didn't surprise me that he has social chops. Doesn't change that I still find him a little bit of a douchebag. Listening to Stephanie Gonzalez, my heart absolutely goes out to her. She got screwed by Jacob being saved by Ghost Island. She seems fantastic, though. She had to miss her mom's wedding. That's devastating stuff. Not a fan of a swap after just 2 episodes, but that's the world we're living in. I like Kellen, Wendell, Michael, Stephanie, and Desiree, and I get this feeling I might like Bradley, but it's way too early to tell. Joanne, please don't hate me, but Brendan is so vanilla to me. I see why he didn't get cast until now. Not that he's a bad player, just he's so meh. Not a fan of Dominic yet either. Thanks, Joanne and Stacy, for continuing your amazing podcast, and thank you for all my fellow to this weekly show so special. Thank you, Mike. Great summary.
No problem, Mike.
Yeah, enjoyed that.
I can actually see that.
Next up, we got a call from BrandonA.
Hey, what's up, Survivor fans and Joanna Stacy's Brandon from Cleveland. Actually, right in the heart of Cleveland, downtown Cleveland, maneuvering through all this crazy, ridiculous traffic. First of all, I just want to say, Stacy, I'm perfectly happy to walk it back on everything I said about Stephanie Johnson, because I have absolutely no problem watching her all season long. No problem. Wouldn't bother me at all. So I'm good with that. I still don't believe she's going to pull it out, because there's a quality that video, as much as I loved it because I'm a fan of hers, that video shows me she's going to do something at some point that was going to upset the apple cart, and she's going to get herself voted out. I thought she might even made a mistake by not keeping Jacob, because now she's giving more power to that PPA alliance. So, but we'll see. I do like Stephanie J a lot, though. I'm very excited. I think this is the first time I ever got a first-off bonus, so Congrats. I'm very happy about that. But in general, I'm just glad Survivor's back. It was a great episode. It was a fun 2 hours. So many characters I like. I'm looking forward to seeing what the rest will bring of people we didn't see a lot. My USB James was in a little bit of trouble this week, but glad to see that he survived. I like Donathan. I like Dominic. As far as good TV, anyway. There's so many people I really enjoy. So I just look forward to hearing everybody's feedback. I'll talk to you guys next week. Peace.
Excellent. Thanks for getting that call in, Brandon. Enjoyed it. Next up, we got an email from Doreese in California.
Hi, Joanne and Stacy. Well, I was hoping you would announce a twist to JSFL that would allow people to change their USB before the merge. My first pick was Kellen, but I changed to Jacob at the last minute. I've never lost a USB so early in the game. I just made my worst USB decision ever and hope I find a way to reverse the curse.
Oh, I like how you worked that in there.
But in spite of that, I thoroughly enjoyed the first 2 episodes and think this is one of the more uniformly likable casts in some time. Some of the players have surprised me. I was impressed with Brendan's ability to see through Jacob's fake idol ruse. Chris's instinct for the game surprised me. Jenna seems to have a good head on her shoulders. James's challenge performance was shocking. And Stephanie was not as annoying as I thought she'd be. She may indeed be a triple threat.
You know it.
Some of the Ghost Island stuff is a bit hokey, but it's all good. And Survivor is still my favorite TV show of all time. I don't know what is a Russell Hantz voice. You do a Russell Hantz voice.
You did fine. No, that was perfect. Favorite show of all time. There we go.
All right.
Thanks, Doreese. Yeah, I think Brandon talked about it too with Stephanie. I don't know that she can really make it all the way through, but she did have a good performance, and it was very surprising. So
and I enjoyed her. I thought she would just be so annoying.
Very much enjoyed her.
Because on her video, she was talking 90 miles an hour nonstop and very animated, and I thought, that's going to annoy people. But
I think what she may be doing is she may be reading and sort of mirroring and bouncing off who she's talking to. So if there's someone with energy like that, she's giving that energy back. And so she's constantly monitoring who she's interacting with. And then
she did that well with Jacob. So, I could see that.
I'm still stunned by how good that was.
Superior talent to have.
Yes, it is. Yep. Good deal. If she's also working to learn about everyone, and she seems like someone with the capacity to do that Natalie White trick like that in a genuine way. Just, hey, I'm interested.
Totally genuine.
This is the kind of thing that I always talk to people about.
And this is just what I do with people. I remember things about you. Even if I met you for 2 seconds once. Natalie was just that way. It was amazing.
Yeah, she could be of that caliber. But I think I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit. That was an important first performance. Impressive.
Yes.
But it could be just a really positive edit. So she could flame out for all I know. I could join Doreese very quickly.
Come on. Keep your faith.
Yeah. Oh, I've got
It'll be fun to
faith.
cheer.
I'm just pragmatic, too. I'm feeling Doreese's pain. Just getting zapped like that right out of the gate hurts.
Yep, it does.
Excellent. All right, let's check in with Jacqueline, see what's going on in Southern California.
What is up, Joanne and Stacy? What is up, Survivor fans? This is Jacqueline from Orange County, California. So first and foremost, I wanted to say I'm super excited for this season. So many super fans, like so many people who know how to play the game. Everybody's super duper excited. And I love like the throwbacks to everything and how much like everybody's geeking out. I have a feeling this is going to be like a really, really cool season. So as for Stephanie, I'm really hoping she can pull off a Sarah and just totally like take Morgan's legacy advantage. That'd be pretty cool to watch. But like Morgan said, she's probably going to tell everybody. I mean, I don't think they would put that in there for no reason. For Jacob, doesn't he look and sound like Seth? What's his name? Seth Rogen? I swear it's like his doppelganger. He's like, even sounds like him, but whatever. You know who he totally reminded me of too is AK from Australian Survivor. How he just went in, just being a crazy pants, like super fan, kind of destroyed his own game. But spoiler alert, AK came back from it. I was hoping Jacob would do the same thing, but I kind of feel like he was probably more socially awkward than AK. And I guess, you know, AK's social game was amazing. I mean, how do you come back from that? Like, he kind of pulled the same exact routine, which is kind of weird. But anyways, and also, Jacob could have told his tribe mates that he picked the box that didn't have the key to open up the advantage. But he just couldn't help but make a fake idol. I don't know what he was thinking. Come on. Kudos to Brandon for seeing that he didn't have the note. And then for him to flunder on that as well. Like, they know you're a super fan. You're going to keep everything that you possibly can to take home because I don't think they get to take a lot of stuff with them, right? Yeah, I'm really enjoying the season, and I think that's all I really had. Oh, I got to be in the fantasy league this time. I'm so excited. I picked James. I was the first episode. Didn't really see much of him. I was like, hell yeah. Like, he's going to be kind of in the background for a little while, and then he totally could not swim, and they were pulling him up, and I was like, my very first USB. He's gonna be voted out. No. It ended up being Jacob, so I don't know. I'm kind of nervous now, but I really like James. I really like everybody this season. Anyways, I can't wait to hear what everybody else has to say. Bye.
Again, I like how much the Fantasy League contributes to your emotions even while watching the episodes.
Oh, yeah. You're invested for sure.
It changes.
Jacqueline and Brandon they were very on edge, I'm sure, in that second episode.
I'm sure Doreese was as well.
Mm-hmm. All right. Good job. Thanks, Jacqueline. Next up, we got an email from Victoria in Maryland. Wow, I really contemplated not watching this season because I couldn't get with the title and the concept, but this premiere has me hooked again. The Malolo tribe is a hot mess, and I'm here for it. A true and intense blindside for the first tribal was pure survivor drama, and I loved every minute of it. What a fun roller coaster that was. The second episode was even better than the first. Chris, the one whose instincts told him to pick someone who doesn't know anything about puzzles, was correct about the fake idol. Side note, has there ever been so many fake idols in an episode? The drama and beautiful backdrop of the clear blue water was an amazing scene for that breathtaking ending. Yes, Survivor, you are back, and I'm excited and can't wait till next week. Excellent. Good job. Thanks, Victoria. Yeah, I think that's the general theme here in the feedback that I picked up on as I was working on the audios. Good stuff.
Well, you can't say Fiji isn't gorgeous. It's just
true. Yes.
Keeps on giving.
It is fantastic. So, next up, we got a call from Ann. Hadn't heard from Ann in a while.
Hi, Joanne and Stacy and Survivor fans. It's Ann from San Diego. I'm pretty close to the deadline, so I'm going to try to be short and sweet. I just wanted to say that I am really excited about this season. I'm enjoying both the theme and the contestants, and especially this early on, that's super rare for me. A lot of the early episodes, the recruits annoy me, but so far, really excited. And yesterday was my birthday. 2 hours of Survivor for my birthday week was the best birthday present ever. So I'm very optimistic about this season. And I'm really enjoying everybody's feedback. So looking forward to hearing from everybody every week. Bye.
Oh, so good to hear from you, Ann.
Her voice is so sweet.
It is. I always think Thumbelina when I hear her voice, though. It's just tiny. I picture this tiny little Ann.
Well, happy belated birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday, Ann.
We share a birthday.
Yeah, that's cool, huh?
Ann and Joanne share a birthday.
Yeah.
I bet she's younger.
Probably. Just a little bit, huh?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
So, happy birthday.
Yes, happy birthday, Ann. Next up, we got email from Eve, a.k.a. Joey Mama from Australia.
Joey Mama. Hi, Joanne, Stacy, and all Survivor fans. I'm an absolute Survivor fan. I listened to your podcast all last season. What a sad season Triple H was. And decided to contribute this year.
All right.
Welcome. I see myself as a survivor of sorts. I'm surviving being a mama of 2 very active little boys down in Australia. I think being a mama of these 2 has given me a taste of the hunger element, the physical challenges of keeping up with 2 kids who are constantly on the go, and the social game of making connections with other parents so the children can have friends and playmates of their own. I'm excited for Ghost Island. This was a very engaging first episode, and I can't wait to see what unfolds for each of our shiny, brand new contestants. I'm a definite fan of Stephanie J. This episode, what a charmer. She's really there to play the game, and I hope she's there long enough to show us just what she's capable of. My heart just broke for Jacob, even though I cringed at almost everything he did. Gonzalez was a shooting star, burned brightly but oh so short. I think her performance at Tribal Council just consolidated that she was too much of a strategic threat too early on in the game. I felt sorry for James. It seems like he was trying his best to dive but just couldn't make it down. I've been there. I was not impressed with Donathan. I actually think there is a chance that he knew he could make the dive himself, but let James fail again and again to shed some bad light on someone other than himself. Donathan dived much too easily. I don't really believe it was a challenge for him. Sorry, Donathan. I hope someone proves me wrong. Brendan is exactly what I thought, an easygoing leader. I am not a Chris fangirl. He's too much of a smooth player. Dominic is definitely playing, but I can't see myself cheering for him. And who's Chelsea?
Yeah.
Bye, guys. Love your podcast, and I can't wait to hear what you and our friends have to say. All right. Thanks, Eve.
Yeah,
and
good
welcome.
job. Yeah, great to have you here. Next up, we got a call from Nicola-n-Jackson.
All right.
Hello, all my Survivor fans. I have my grandson Jackson here with me today, who watched the Survivor first 2 episodes. What's it called? Remember what the name is?
The Ghost Island.
The Ghost Island. That's right. What did you like?
When they did under and got the keys and do the puzzle.
When they did the keys and got the puzzle? Okay. And we're just having a quick look at the roster here. Was there anybody you liked a lot when you look at those pictures?
Purple team.
The purple team. That was the winning team, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there anybody on there you really like? No? Jury is out. Please don't say Seabass. Chelsea. Oh, okay. He likes Chelsea. She was kind of not on the episode, but all right. So, anyhow, just wanted to send this in real quick this morning. We enjoyed the double episodes and can't wait to...
Can I say?
What?
The Survivor. I don't know.
Well, now we have an extra voice to go with Liam and the Drew crew. We will be watching this week. I was happy to see Gonzalez go. Sorry about Jacob, but he kind of built his own nest there or his own bed and had to lay in it. I'm with Stacy. I like Donathan, but yeah, let's move along from his little narrative about being from a small town. And yeah, can't wait to see what everybody else has to say. Love the theme, love the island. Hopefully they switch it up a bit so that they don't have to give away anything that they find at Ghost Island. That kind of defeats the purpose of going, I think. But apart from that, we thoroughly enjoyed it and hope everybody has a great weekend. And we will see you on the couch on Wednesday.
Bye.
Bye, Jackson.
Bye, Hojays.
Good job, Jackson. Thanks,
Welcome,
Nickel.
Jackson. We have another new Survivor fan.
Uh-huh. 4, and he knows his colors. Wow. Jackson's better with
Cool.
color than I am. But I totally get how you were drawn to Chelsea there. Jackson's like me. He likes brunettes, so I totally understood that.
I see. Well, that was my thought. Well, the boy knows what he likes already. Well,
Good deal. Thanks, Nicola. Thanks, Jackson. Next up, we got a call from Sandi.
yay.
Hi guys, this is Sandi from Atlanta. Was that a great 2-hour episode? I think they should make every first episode 2 hours because I did not read squat on anybody. I was picking blind, and of course I picked Gonzalez to be safe. How in the world did people think Gonzalez to be first out? It's beyond me. Anyway, I get very frustrated with, quote, super fans like Shoeless Joe. I kept calling him Shoeless Joe after he lost his stupid tennis shoes. And as clear as the water is down there, he couldn't find them? He didn't look? What? I don't get it. He just made every mistake in the book. And he knew better. So that frustrates me. It also frustrates me when people go out there, again, not knowing how to make fire, not knowing how to strategize, not knowing how to swim. Hello. That just frustrated me. But I do want to give Jeff Probst props because Dominic would not have gone back into the water if Jeff Probst hadn't practically said,
Jonathan,
I'm going to send you home if you don't get your butt back down there in the water. It was all Jeff Probst that got him back in the water. It wasn't his decision. He guilted him back into it. Okay, I'm glad they're having a swap. I love Ghost Island. I think it's a very cool thing. When I heard Jeff was going to put some of his snuffers out there, I thought, well, is he giving away his snuffers? That's a cool collection. But I did recognize the one from Thailand. The others I had no idea about. It was just a really good show. Oh, Stephanie. First time I saw her hair undone, she looked like that episode of Friends where Monica's hair the humidity got to it. I just cackled. It was so funny. But I like her. She's going to do very well. And she played Shoeless Joe like a fiddle. But of course, he's 14, isn't he? Aren't all 14-year-old boys like that? All right. Sorry if you're listening. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.
Thanks, Sandi. I don't know that there's an age limit on Stephanie's impact. So
I'm not even going to say what I was.
The other thing, I was listening again to this, and I loved hearing the bird song in the background on Sandi's. I grew up about 70 miles northwest of where she is, and hearing those birds from home like that, I really enjoyed it. And then it reminded me too when I was listening to Jacqueline's. I think it must have been raining when she recorded that. Either that or she was like near a waterfall or something, because it sounded like I could hear rain in the background. But the Sandi birds triggered that recall for me.
You got to visit home, huh?
Yeah. Yep. Thanks, Sandi. Next up, we got an email from Arron from Williamsville, New York, but now in Mesa, Arizona. Hey, I lived in Mesa for a while, Mesa and Tempe, back in the 80s. Arron says, good morning, Joanne and Stacy and Survivor fans. Hope your year has been well so far. Let's see. I think our year's been a little challenging, hasn't it?
Hey.
And we got the podcast back and all these super fans, so it's
I can
improving.
walk with a cane now.
Yes.
I'm happy.
Yeah. It's been a minute, but I recently started going to school for audio engineering since November, so I wanted to make sure that was squared away before I started giving feedback again. Well, we love having you back, Arron. This is my 16th season with Survivor Fans Podcast, and it only feels like yesterday when I started calling in during Survivor Nicaragua It's spooky how time flies. And speaking of spooky, Ghost Island as a theme is off to a good start. It was neat to see past relics of Survivor make their way onto the screen, making for plenty of Easter eggs for the Survivor superfan to look out for. And the island itself certainly lives up to its dark, mysterious, yet playful nature. Time will tell how much of an impact the mechanic will have on the game. This season snuck up on me, so I hadn't been paying too much attention to the preseason press and cast videos, but I really like the cast so far. While we didn't see much of Naviti, Chris and Dominic surprised me differently. I'm not in either of their corners, but Chris has really good instincts. Dominic, however, does not, and I thought it was going to be the opposite going in. I don't understand how telling or showing someone a fake idol when you have a real one is any different than just showing the real one. I thought Gonzalez would be around for a while and Steph J out early, but I was pleasantly surprised to find it was the opposite. I look forward to seeing more from Steph J. I felt so bad for Jacob, but even worse for those who had to eat the dirty sock rice. Oh. Yuck. He did at least give my USB Morgan the legacy advantage, though. Nevertheless, I do think he played a part in his own demise. He had the right ideas, but not the right execution. A lot of people that find themselves on the outs in the first few days tend to lean into it and do even more things to make themselves a target. And I think that he focused on building relationships instead of looking for idols. If he had focused on building relationships instead of looking for idols, he would have had a lot more people in his corner. While I wish the tribes had been together longer than just this premiere double episode, I look forward to what will happen in the future. I'm so excited to hear what everyone else has to say. Thank you, Joanne and Stacy, for all you do. Till next time. Thank you, Arron. Great to have you back, and we love that music. Next up, we got a call from Samantha.
This is Samantha, a.k.a. Survivor Rocks from Texas. A Fast and the Furious. A Fast 2 amazing hours just flew by, and I'm already loving this season in Ghost Island. And so is my husband. We really thoroughly enjoyed it. I was surprised that Michael, the young 18-year-old, kept falling over the course. I feel that Chris did make the right decision and took the fishing gear. And my husband did as well. Dominic, coming off as too abrasive and bossy, but pulled it together and found an idol and made a fake one. He's there to play and win, but tone back the nicknames in the comments because he's making enemies. Now, I didn't like that side of Dominic, but I still like Dominic. My husband doesn't like Dominic at all. Gonzalez played too hard and too fast and talked too much smack. Found herself walking down the trail of shame and gone too soon. Jacob played the fake idol too fast. I do like that he made the idol and was loving it, but he shared too much information too fast and too soon. Threw himself right in front of the bus. At least wait until you even know you're going to tribal council. He didn't even know if they were even going to go to tribal council. And he also shared the advantage with Stephanie. And I think that the same thing is going to happen. It's going to blow up in Morgan's face. It will still be cursed, just like it was for Sierra. I would have waited until at least at tribal council to pull out the fake idol and catch him by surprise. Now, it probably wouldn't have done any good, but I would have just kept my mouth shut. It would have made more sense also to say that he found that idol that he made when he was looking for one, when they thought he was looking for one, not when he came back from Ghost Island, and just seemed too unbelievable. I'm sure they're all gagging over the dirty rice sock because we were, but we did get a good laugh out of it. Thanks, Jacob. You were very entertaining, but you were only there for a short time. He's definitely got a punch or two coming, and he did make the first 2 episodes highly entertaining. My husband isn't like King Brendan, but I beg to differ on that. I still like him. But 2 thumbs up for the Fast and the Furious Survivor Ghost Island.
All right, good deal. Thanks, Samantha. Glad you and your husband are enjoying it so much together. Next up, we got a call from Sophie.
Hi, everybody. It's Sophie from England, now in Texas. Welcome back, everybody. Hope you enjoyed Survivor. It was really good. I was on the edge of my seat because I'm playing the challenge along with all of you. And I did experience the roller coaster effect. Congratulations, Stacey and Joanne. You picked wisely. I didn't. I picked Jacob. I felt like a mum who kind of felt embarrassed by their son doing something silly and cringeworthy. Like when he put his shoes on the sand and I was saying, don't put them there. They're being taken by the tide. And then he went off looking for idols, announcing it to the world. Then he put the rice in his socks, and what was he thinking? It was disgusting. Then he got sent to Ghost Island, and I was like, yes, he's got a chance. He's going to be saved. Yeah, he sends his advantage to the person who I thought would be voted out, Morgan. So it was fun. It did add to the experience, and I don't know what I'm going to do now. I should have just gone with Brandon, Wendell, or Desiree, like, all of you guys. I agree, though. Stephanie is playing very well. So, yeah, maybe she's going to go far. It was good. I wish that the beginning had been the crazy start, grabbing fruit and vegetables off the boat, and you've got a certain amount of time to just get in the water and start going. But, yeah, it started off with a challenge. However, Chris did okay. Yeah, he surprised me on an interview I saw. I changed my opinion of him, and also of Angela. I thought maybe I was a bit too harsh, and maybe she isn't as serious and military. And so I think there's so many good players. A few can leave, though, but it's getting there. It's turning out to be a good show. I hope you all enjoyed it. I was so sad when I can't believe CBS has taken away your privilege to interview the survivors. Oh my goodness. But you took it so well. But anyway, if you do decide to riot or put your name down on a petition, just let me know where I need to sign to get them back. However, I do enjoy Stacey and Joanne's opinions and the after shows, and I enjoy the fans' comments. So at least that's not being taken away. So don't worry. Yeah, I'm still going to be listening. And well done for having such a good attitude about it. I don't know why they have taken that privilege away from you guys, though. The tribe swap, I think that's a great thing. I think it did need to happen, and maybe we'll start getting to see a bit more of the powerful players. I wish there was a bit more tribe life going on, how they're making food, how they started the fire. I wish it wasn't just handed to them in the beginning, but anyway, what's done is done. I'm going to be watching. Take care. Hope you're all well. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Sophie.
And thank you for all the kind words.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
Yeah, we don't feel like we would rail about it. That's not.
No, definitely
just
not.
Way too for us to say anything would, to me, just be ungrateful.
Yeah.
For all the privileges we've been given, so we can't do that.
Yeah, we're not about that at all.
Yeah, that's
just thankful for what we had.
Yeah.
And thank you again for mentioning that. We appreciate it. Next up, we got an email from Michael in Utah.
Hello, Joanne and Stacey. Hi, Survivor fans. Survivor is back on, and Survivor Fans Podcast is back, and I'm a happy camper. Like Stacey, I'm impressed with Stephanie. I'd be happy if she wins. I didn't do much preliminary work into the cast and relied on a random number generator to pick my USB. Turns out that Wendell is someone I can relate to, as we both make a transition from a professional and technical careers to woodworking. I have several disappointments that don't mind repeating over and over. The cast is so young, and I like that.
I don't
like that. Survivor used to reflect a cross-section of American society, but this season shows a deliberate casting for younger people. Second complaint is Donathan. I cannot fathom refusing to do your part to help your tribe and diving in the water. He refused, and only under pressure would he do it. His tribe mates seemed reluctant to coach him, and it took Jeff Probst yelling to get him to do it. He is no hero. Also, when he was on Ghost Island, did you see how much rice he cooked up?
Yeah.
Wow. He should have a content tummy when he does get back in the game. I wonder if the rice will be replenished for the next Outcast. I wondered about that too, if he's going to eat the whole thing.
Yeah.
And, okay, finally, casting would tell you, and former castaways would tell you, that when you go into casting, know who you are. But this time around, it didn't matter. These people are who Probst described are finding themselves. That's all I have to rant about in the public circles. You guys are welcome at my fire anytime. All right, thanks, Michael.
Yeah, great to hear from you again.
Up next, we have a voice clip from Drew.
Drew's crew.
Hey, Joanne and Stacey. Hey, everyone. It's Drew.
Charlie, Adelaide,
and Milo.
Turtle
Kitty, and Milo. Let's give some quick feedback for our Ghost Island premiere. Okay, I'm probably in the extreme minority, but I was kind of underwhelmed, guys. I actually was kind of multitasking for a couple of minutes. I never do that during Survivors. I don't know what it was. There have been other seasons where I just wasn't super into it at the start, and then it picked up for me, so I know that I'll enjoy it. And I enjoyed it. It was fine, but I'm just not into this cast of young pretties. It's like there's a couple of players and then a couple of... Right, Milo? A bunch of throwaways. It's really frustrating. So I had a totally different read after this first episode of a few key people from you two. Mostly Chris, who I was not impressed with. I think he's a big lug. And Dominic, who I think actually did okay for himself. I thought that when Chris asked him if he had an idol, he kind of dodged it pretty well, at least from what I could see. It seemed like he answered without answering, you know? I thought that was pretty clever, but I guess Chris didn't fall for it, so maybe not. I don't know, some characters emerging, it was fine. The challenges were very relay-ish and, you know, standard, so that was fine, but Ghost Island is okay. It's probably not going to factor in very much in a lot of ways. Also, I was with Stacy on the Donathan thing, not like super impressed that he actually performed in the challenge, like, good for you, that's sort of the name of the game. Jacob, I was really surprised about Jacob, actually. That was kind of a bummer. I mean, he was such a big fan. I kind of feel like this cast is stacked against him and Donathan. It seems so obviously unbalanced in the other direction of these populars and jocks, so I think that's kind of frustrating. And if I were out there, I'd be pretty annoyed too, because I don't really fit in the populars. I don't really fit in the total outcasts too. But in this set, I don't know where I'd fall. Anyway, it seems frustrating to feel like they're at a disadvantage just because of the cast. And, you know, it remains to be seen what a lot of these people will do, but I actually kind of like Dominic still. I mean, of course he's my US Brew, so, you know, I have to, maybe that colors my perception, but I think that he's doing okay, and I think that thing with the weightlifting, I thought he was joking. I didn't think that was a coach moment. Come on, he was joking around. I mean, he was laughing, and everyone was kind of laughing. I didn't think he was showing off or trying to teach them or anything. Coach would be, like, totally serious about that. Anyway, let's see. I'm out of time already. Oh, I posted this drawing of Jeff Probst on my Instagram, and Stephanie Gonzalez actually noticed it and liked it, and then I went to her Instagram. She seems pretty high profile, but it seems she was a little bit displeased with how she was presented, and, you know, I didn't actually think she was blindsided. It looked to me like she expected it, kind of. I guess it depends on how you define blindside, because she talked to them and they said they were voting out someone else, and then they voted out her, so I guess in a way it was a blindside, but it seemed like she wasn't totally surprised. Oh, but I totally forgot my favorite moment of the whole night, when Chris totally biffed it right out of the gate of that challenge. I rewound that and just laughed and laughed. Is that wrong of me? Nah, it was hilarious. Sorry about the side challenge. I just remembered too late, and, you know, maybe I just didn't want to dominate everyone again like I did last season, which, you know, of course, since I did do so well last season, is probably the reason why I won't do so well this season, but I'll keep track on my own later just to see where I would have fallen. It was kind of weird. I was actually kind of, at one point I was like, oh, why is it two hours? Like, this is crazy. Guys, I just got to find my Survivor excitement again for this season. All right, that's it for us. Sitting here on the third day of an extreme weather warning, blue skies, beautiful outside, so we were kind of looking forward to a cozy snowy weekend, but, you know, talk to you guys later. Say bye.
Bye.
Excellent. Good job, Drew. Good job, crew.
It all came this way in the form of rain.
Well, we get the rain, but once it hits the Sierras, it's snow, and then over where he is.
Over where he is, but
yeah,
that's what I'm saying. So we're getting it all in the form of rain, not snow, but
we're sending some more your way. You'll have several more chances, evidently,
it's going
Drew.
that way, huh? Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's generally heading east.
It's been raining for days.
Yes, it's just terrible. So we
Several
need
days.
it. We need the water.
We do, but we're just so used to having sunshine all the time.
All right, she does this every time a cloud goes over. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Thanks,
yeah.
Drew. Good job. And I hope you find your excitement too. I think it's there. Give it a chance. And just well chosen on Dominic. I'm sure you would have cleaned house on the side challenge with that choice.
Oh, you're so mean.
Next up, we got a call from
I
Kenny.
almost chose him.
Yeah, I know. We got a call from Kenny. Let's see what he thought.
Hey guys, it's Kenny from Dallas. Well, I very much enjoyed the first 2 hours of Survivor so far. I think every episode of Survivor should be 2 hours. There's so much garbage on TV. Why can't it be 2 hours?
There you go.
I really enjoyed it. I think this Ghost Island premise has some potential. For some initial observations, I agree that Stephanie had a great first couple of hours. She manipulated poor Jacob. And Jacob, poor Jacob, he was an outcast from the start. He didn't quite fit in. And I think there's something to be said for maybe Survivor having a season in which there are people who are not so fit or in shape, as it seems like most of the men are this season. And maybe it could be Survivor couch potatoes or something like that, where Jacob would have a better chance. But I felt sorry for him. Has there ever been a contestant who has gone on to win the season after getting a relatively purple edit? In this case, the first 2 hours, like yes. Bradley, Chelsea, Angela did. Has there ever been someone who was completely more or less not seeing the first 2 shows and then went on to win the season? You guys are the experts. I'm sure you have the answer. The biggest thing I took away from this past episode, and by the way, Jonathan, I'm afraid we're going to hear too much of how he's seeing things he never saw before, how he's realizing he has potential he never realized he had. And I think it fits into Jeff's narrative of trying to be more than a game show host. You know, he puts on his talk show, and I think he's trying to extrapolate his talk show failure onto Survivor. But the biggest takeaway I have for this past episode is the criminal act of Survivor taking away your ability to speak to the departed contestants. Very short-sighted on their part. There's no reason at all why you shouldn't be able to talk to them. It only takes 10 or 12 minutes. And the fan base that would hear that podcast are some of their most devoted fans. Very short-sighted. I'm going to send an email and tell them that you didn't put me up to it. But it shows that they're too full of themselves. And it detracts from the overall experience of the show. All right, guys, do a great job. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Thanks, Kenny. That is a very kind of you to consider doing that. And anyone who feels like, I'm not trying to control what anyone's choice is, but if you were to feel so compelled, we would just ask that you focus on the positives as much as you could, because Lori there, if you're going to Press Express and pulling that up, she's like a VP there, so we want to frame everything as positive.
They really have been good to us.
Fantastic to us all through the years from the beginning.
I love Lori. She's a very, very sweet person.
Yes. So
anyway,
we don't want to end up on Lori's bad side. That's all I'm trying
to say.
Well,
true. And we don't want to end up on anybody's bad side. No. But Sophie
question.
Clark.
Yeah, Sophie popped into our head.
Person that popped into my mind.
Yeah. I took a little longer to think about it and come up with Sophie, but Joanne did it immediately. And so for Survivor South Pacific, she was a bit of a surprise for that season.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people were shocked when she won.
Even later in the game.
And we had talked, I remember we talked about a lot of it as being a reflection of the editing choice along the way, not to keep her hidden and so minor. So.
Well, and we never saw, Parvati's win coming in Micronesia. Because from the editing, we were absolutely positive it was Amanda.
Yeah.
And we were so shocked, and you've never gotten over it.
No. I kind of always hold that against her.
You have always done that.
Yeah. I was always nice when we met her.
I know that, but you just could not let go of it. And
it annoyed me.
But it's because we didn't.
And it was the edit. I know it was the edit.
Yes,
it wasn't.
I know you did.
It wasn't anything to do with Parvati. Parvati's a very smart lady.
She's lovely. Yes, she is. And that's your thing.
It is. I was very angry with that. Yep.
I think that's a couple of examples. Is we see and believe whatever we're shown. For the most part, I mean, we have.
I get suckered in by the edit all the time.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah,
well, that's
every
part
week,
of the
basically.
Storytelling, and that helps enhance things.
Yep.
But, so that's just a part of it.
All right, so Sophie Clark, that's our first, best, quickest answer. If we think of any more, we'll let you know. And thanks again, Kenny. Next up, we got email from Brandon in Brooklyn. Wow, what a great 2-episode premiere. I'm not sure how I like Ghost Island. I don't like how Jacob and Donathan didn't get any good twist. For Jacob to go to Ghost Island and hand over an advantage to someone from the other tribe is a joke. I'm not complaining that Morgan, my USB, received it. There are a few people I like and dislike. I don't like Brendan, mostly because he reminds me of Andrew Savage. He seems to walk around the island with his shirt off thinking he's the king because he's in great shape. I don't like Dominic. He just talks too much and he thinks he is a mastermind already. I give him credit for finding an idol while everyone else was sleeping, but he's just another alpha male that needs to rely on an idol to play. I've seen that book before. No thanks. I was really impressed with Stephanie J. Her social skills are amazing. Her intelligence is great. Her physical capabilities fantastic. I was checking her Instagram after the episode, and I was shocked to see how in shape she was. I was a fool for not considering her for a USB. She's got an alliance partner in Jenna who will do whatever Stephanie decides. I think Donathan will be a fan favorite and can wreck the game for certain players. I can't wait for the next episode to watch the tribe swap and see Chris, Brendan, and Dominic react to being around new people. See you next week. Thanks, Brandon. Next up, we got a call from Shay.
Hey guys, this is Shay again. I want to apologize for two things on my first call. Number one, breaking down about my dog. This is about Survivor. And number two, I apologize for not listening to the very first recap episode before I called, because now I have things to say. First, I wanted to say that both of you have picked, in my opinion, two of the three best players. Surprisingly, the third person is Chris. He really blew me away on how well he pulled Sebastian in and seems to have knowledge of many different things. And he seems to be able to read people really well, even when he's being lied to. But I think that Brendan and Stephanie are most definitely the two to beat. I think that Stacy's right and wrong about two things. I think he's very much right about Dominic. When it showed him doing those exercises with the stick, I literally looked at my husband and said, slap a bandana on that dude. There's Coach. But I think he's wrong when he says that Donathan isn't a story, that there's no story there. Yes, I know that what he is saying is repetitive. I get that. But it's kind of like the season where Zeke was outed, and I forget her name, but the woman who came from a very conservative area of the country,
Sarah,
and had never been exposed to someone of Zeke's nature and realized that she really liked him anyway. I think that that was such a humanitarian story, and with our country as divided as it is, I think it's going to be really interesting to watch someone who is as sheltered and gay get to know a variety of people. I think that it's going to be interesting. I don't know. That's just my opinion. I don't know how long he'll be there. I hope that people will put their targets on bigger threats, and he's somebody that kind of weasels his way in through most of the show. But I think there's a good story there, Stacy. Anyway, again, sorry about the first phone call and the almost breaking into tears. Absolutely am excited about the podcast as much as I am the show, because once again, after listening to the first recap episode, it complements the show so much. You think about so many more things, and I can't express how grateful I am that you guys do it and that I have it to listen to, digest, absorb, and distract me. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Shay.
Thank you. That was very touching.
I still think about Uma and Zeke all the time, so I totally get it.
Oh, if anybody gets it, we do.
Yeah. So we're there with you, and that was not. I mean, I enjoyed your second call, but your first one was fine too. So don't
worry about it. No
don't
sweat.
Stress. Thanks again. Next up, we got a call from Taz.
Hi, Joanne Stacy. This is Taz in Louisiana. I just wanted to say that I am so glad that the new season of Survivor has started, and it looks like it's going to be a good one. And I would also like to say Kalos Ithata to our new listener in Greece. So far, I'm very pleased with my pick for USB, Wendell, and I think he has a really good shot at going all the way. I really expected more from Jacob. I actually thought that I was going to like him, even though I did not think he had a chance at winning the game. But wow, what a klutz. Another big surprise was James. I actually considered him as one of my top choices for USB, and I'm surely glad I didn't go that way. It always boggles my mind when people try out for Survivor, get on the show, and they can't swim or can't go underwater. It's just crazy. Then several of the people that I did not think would perform very well, they're really showing that they have game. So we'll just have to wait and see what unfolds in the weeks to come. As always, thanks for all you do. Taz, over and out.
All right, Taz.
Oh, it was great to hear your voice.
Yeah, always. And he picked up some Greek on their trip.
Yes,
right?
he did.
He said in his note, he said that meant welcome. I mean, I think context clues, we got it, but thanks for that, Taz. Next up, we got an email from Jack in California.
Hi, Joanne, Stacy, and all you Survivor fans. We're back. Yoo-hoo. And what a premiere episode it was. Have we ever had a first tribal council blindside like this before?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we've had blindsides at the first one, yeah.
I found it interesting that both Desi and Sebastian were picked for the puzzle during the first challenge when they were both not great with puzzles. I feel like Dominic made a bad move right out of the gate when being asked if the tribe made the right move picking people for the first challenge, and he said no. However, he will be safe because of the idol he found in the dark, which seems like it would be hard to do. Mm-hmm. Why do people tell about advantages and idols? I still don't understand that, and Jacob is the newest castaway that fell under that curse. Stephanie is playing very well to begin with. Ghost Island has fun temptation games, but one wrong move could hurt your game if you don't have a stable alliance. For next episode, a tribe swap already could make this season a lot more interesting, and my prediction is that Morgan would be the next to be sent to Ghost Island and be safe from the next vote out.
Okay.
Can't wait to hear from the other fans. Let the games begin. All right. Thanks, Jack.
Yeah, good job. Next up, got a call from Parker.
What's up? This is Parker from Indiana. And oh my goodness, that was one heck of a premiere. I was on the edge of my seat the whole episode. Oh my goodness, it was amazing. I think this was probably one of the best premieres in Survivor history. It was just awesome. Like right off the bat, we have that challenge, but there's like higher stakes and the limited rice, and then that was just such an awesome challenge. And then we get to the immunity challenge, which every challenge in this episode looks so hard and physical, which is what I was hoping for because this cast was really physical. Oh, Jacob, poor Jacob. He got the idol looking with the dodo music in the premiere. Oh, poor guy. I like Jacob. I thought he was funny, but yeah, not the best player, let's be honest. The majority of these players, they were playing like returnees, and I loved it. This is why you pick super fans for seasons. Sure, there's a couple of recruits, there's a couple of people that aren't exactly super fans but know the game. But, I mean, you had fake idols everywhere. You had people catching on. Like Brendan wears the paper. He knew Jacob wasn't telling the truth. I decided to pick Brendan as my USB, by the way. And I'm so happy because Brendan was top-notch this episode. Got picked as the leader, so I was like, oh no, but he nailed that. And, with his coaching, he's like, come on, Michael, you can do it, and come on, Laura. So I guess Ghost Island is going to have, like, advantages, like Jacob got. And then at your camp, you'll have the misplayed idols and stuff. But, I mean, that's just my theory based on this first episode. But who knows? It could just completely flip-flop. Dominic, he was pretty cool. I mean, he was a little weird at the beginning. Yeah, I like Dominic. I thought he was pretty good. He got the idol, and that's something I always say. I know when I'm out there, I'm never going to sleep. I'm not going to be sleeping out there. So why not just wait until everybody else is asleep, air quotes. Why not go look for an idol? I mean, your odds of finding one are pretty high, so that was just brilliant play by Dominic there. I have to admit, I was sad. I like Jacob. He was funny. He was entertaining, but he did not play very well. He got a little bit of traction there for a minute, but overall, not a great episode for Jacob. Time on Survivor. It looks like there's a tribe swap, but I'm not too sure because people were talking over the preview for the next time on Survivor, so I didn't actually hear it because my family was talking over it. So I will see you guys next time.
That's why you record it.
Oh, yeah.
So you can watch back. But
I love they were so into it. They were talking over it. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Parker.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I think hasn't happened before? I don't believe we've ever seen with a double episode right out the gate to have two fake idols made that early in the game.
Right.
Have we ever?
That was a question earlier. No, I don't recall 2 in the very beginning.
Yeah, I don't or even 1 for that.
We
that
definitely
matter.
had more than one fake one in the game at the same time.
Yes, but
Yeah.
it's like, okay, at least these people came to play, and they, you got to think people thought that through beforehand, because Jacob was already collecting beads, collecting things from different things.
I guarantee you Probst is given that big moves pep talk before every season starts. We've even heard some of the castaways talk about it before, but he's definitely looking for that because it creates more entertainment. Thanks again, Parker. Next up, got a call from MikeK. Hadn't heard from Mike in a while.
Hey, Mike.
Hi, Joanna and Stacy and Survivor fans. This is MikeK from SoCal. First of all, I just want to say I'm so sad that you guys don't get to do exit interviews. That's a crazy decision by CBS. You guys had the best exit interviews, and we are all going to sorely miss that. Also, sorry I wasn't able to get my Jabik in this last week, and I'm a little bit late this week, too. So last week, I assumed there would probably be 2 vote-offs in the premiere, and just looking at the 2 tribes, I was positive that Navigi would dominate the first 2 immunity challenges. And I felt that the first 2 vote-offs from Malolo would probably be the 2 Stephanies. And I couldn't believe that Stacy picked Stephanie Johnson as his USB. Like Joanne, I thought she would be annoying and stick out and get voted out, but boy, was I wrong about her. In First One Out podcast, the comments on Stephanie Gonzalez were all kind of negative, so I didn't think there was any way she could survive 2 tribal councils. So I picked Stephanie Gonzalez as my vote-off. However, I forgot to factor in the fact that one of the players would be on Ghost Island. However, thankfully I got the first out bonus, and thankfully I did not lose a safe point on Jacob since you guys only counted episode 1. Thanks for that. My first 2 vote-off picks for Navidi would have been Chelsea and Angela, but since there is a tribe swap next week, that doesn't really matter. My 5 picks to win in no particular order were Wendell, Morgan, Kellen, Brendan, and Bradley. Unfortunately, I forgot to submit my USB, but I was going to pick Morgan, so I'm happy Jacob willed the legacy advantage to Morgan, but unhappy that Stephanie Johnson knows about it. I thought it was a great 2-hour premiere, lots of gameplay right off the bat, and looking forward to the rest of the season. Oh, and I think Ghost Island is a clever way for CBS to get returning players on the show without having to cast or pay them. This is MikeK from SoCal.
That's true.
I like that. Oh, so good to hear from you, Mike. Mike's been with us from the beginning, from the drop.
Yep.
Back in 2005. Good job. Next up, we got an email from Josh, the Plush Moose from Massachusetts. Dear Joanne and Stacy, wow, what a great premiere. Beautiful sets, a few good challenges, several interesting players, and just enough editing to disguise 2 set-in-stone vote-offs. I can't wait for next Wednesday. My other observations, Jacob's shoes and the game both drifted away on the tide. It's not a bird in the hand, but a rat under a rock is sometimes worth a hidden idol. My Jabik was spot on. Jacob was Schlubby Bear, and the other women didn't like Gonzalez. Yep, you nailed it. I wish they would have separated the shelter kit from the eggs and the flint in the first challenge so they could have still played for something after the forfeit. Then we could have seen who would have won and potentially had more drama back at camp. Oh, I like that. Yeah, I think that's a good suggestion. It would have improved it. I think the theme of past mistakes has corrupted the players. We've already seen several classic Survivor blunders, including obvious day 1 idol hunts, alpha males targeting each other too early, and players doing questionable things to the food supply. I think I was right that Ghost Island is Warehouse 13, a repository of items that impart their bad juju to their new owners. We already saw Jacob fall victim to Sierra's loose lip syndrome with the legacy advantage. The sled pull reminded me of Geico's Washington crossing the Delaware Turnpike ad. Yeah, that commercial is hard to watch. Ghost Island raises some questions. Do you have to break the urns in order?
Yes.
Yeah, it turns out you do. Dalton Ross asked that and got an answer back. Are there only 2 urn messages, play, don't play? I don't know yet on that. Know. Is the game always available? I believe so. Will all Ghost Island relics start off depowered while those found at camp will retain their original powers? That's a good question, too. Don't know. To me, it makes perfect sense that Gonzalez sped off the show first. That's good. Speedy Gonzalez, I believe, would be the reference there, the cartoon.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. The editors had fun with Jacob, dingbat music with actual bats. It's no surprise that teacher Brendan didn't believe Ghost Island ate Jacob's note. Oh, that's good. Did Malolo throw the comfort reward to prevent Jacob from playing the washboard? Deep diving Donathan was a shallow attempt at an uplifting moment. I'm not buying it. Oh, that's nice. Jacob reminds me of a bad D&D character. High IQ, low wisdom. Yeah, he can't make a saving. Yeah, he can't make a saving throw to save his life. I love the design of Tribal Council. Voters may be sacrifices to the Survivor Fire God. Mike acts like he's 23. Jacob acts like he's 12. Next time, drop your buffs. Is post-swap Morgan on Ghost Island? Anyway, that's it for me for now. Thanks, Joanna Stacy, for all you do. I can't wait to hear what the other fans have to say. Thanks, Josh. It did kind of look like she was there, huh? I mean, we weren't sure when we were looking at the Next Time on Survivor clip.
Yeah,
but
it was a real quick to go by, so we didn't study it or anything. So.
Excellent. Next up, got a call from Carolyn. Hadn't heard from her in a while.
Hi, Joanna and Stacy. This is Carolyn from the beautiful Bronx. How are you guys doing? We're doing fine. We're down a few trees since the big Doreese yesterday. Other than that, doing fine. Just wanted to let you know I'm in JSFL this year, and I chose Libby because that was my late mother's nickname because her brother couldn't pronounce Mary Elizabeth, so she ended up being Libby for over 75 years. And that was before I read her bio. I don't think we see eye to eye on a lot, but, so far she seems to be doing fine. Well, I both enjoyed and hated the first couple of episodes, which was it's not double late. It was just 2 episodes smushed together. Fine, whatever. I'm really feeling like I'm getting aside from the usual band of generic pretty people, except for James, who I think is gorgeous. I love those cheekbones. Aside from James, I can't really tell the pretty people apart yet. I was discouraged that Gonzalez was voted first out. She kind of had the Rosa Diaz from Brooklyn Nine-Nine vibe, and I love Rosa. So it was a little discouraging to see her go first, but, c'est la vie, I guess. But Jacob, I'm really going to miss. I think he was kind of like my male analog out there. Very close in age and demeanor and level fitness, and it's a shame that he had to go. But he certainly dug his own grave. But, when you have James who lost him the challenge, I mean, he lost him the entire thing. He's begging you to vote it out, and they say, nah, we'll hang on to you. I don't think it's the best strategy because he's very clever, he's in good shape, and he can go far. Unless he freezes again, in which case I'm sure Combined Tribe will have no problem voting him out. Love the scenery, love Fiji, although, again, they're not really, aside from a few sculptures, they're not really using the setting like I wish they would. I wish they could actually, learn something about Fiji when they're there in Fiji, but oh well. I love the critters. I love the sharks are very interesting this year, and so are the crabs. The crabs have their own little show going, their own little, morality play going on the sidelines, mirroring what the humans are doing. I love that. And there's no tarsiers, but there are day bats. I love day bats. Okay, thanks for all you do, and I'll see you next week. I have no idea who's going to go because they're going to be switching up tribes, which makes it very hard to bet. But that's the whole fun of JSFL, isn't it? Okay, talk to you later. Bye.
Thanks, Carolyn. Great to hear from you again. Next up, we got a call from Jody.
Hey, Survivor family, it's Jody in Brisbane. Doing a lot of night duties and stuff lately, and I'm bloody tired. And as a result, I got to see maybe 40-50% of the show because I kept nodding off. Usually I watch Survivor with maybe 1 or 2 of my kids, but everyone was in the room and everyone kept talking. So that was good because it kept me awake. But they kept asking questions and I'm just like, oh my God, just shush, hey? I really enjoyed what I saw. Stephanie is crazy dangerous with, her charm and just able to, connect with an obviously, impressionable young man. I hope she can keep that under wraps, just how dangerous she is, because she's going to be amazing to watch. I liked Donathan's little kind of redemption story. I can do a duck dive eventually with much prompting. That was cool. I hope he brings that little note, you didn't get to play back to, camp. I am so tired. So that he can prove, no, nothing happened here, and maybe his story will be a bit more believable and he'll come off harmless as he absolutely is. But I think I'm going to enjoy watching his development as a person on the show. I'm really going to miss the interviews you guys do. I'm sure you're going to miss them too, but just your style and the respectful way that you talk to everybody, even the complete nut jobs, especially the complete nut jobs, it's a perspective that it isn't done in any of the other formats that the interviews happen. So I just wanted to say what a great job you guys have done previously, and it will be sorely, sorely missed. Okay, so I'm hoping I'll get a chance to rewatch all of these things, but I've got about 5 textbooks to read and about 2 minutes to do it. All right, guys, thank you.
Oh, so good to hear from you, Jody.
Thank you for all the kind words.
Yeah,
Jody.
thank you.
We appreciate that. Makes the work we put into it worthwhile.
Oh, yeah. Next up, we got an email from Ed in Milwauki.
Joanne and Stacy, here's my random thoughts on Survivor Ghost Island Episode 1. Frequently, Survivor players are divided into 2 categories, superfans and recruits. But I think that many of today's players fall into a category as fans, but not superfans. It appears that most, if not all, of the current cast had significant knowledge of Survivor prior to applying to the show. Jacob and Dr. Mike are proof that being a superfan does not make you a good player. Perhaps we need a 4th category called stupid fans. Although I have been listening to your podcast since Gabon, I have never had the courage to play JSFL. This is partly because Survivor is so hard to predict. In most sports, one bets on who they think is the best player. But in Survivor, being perceived as the best just puts a target on your back. For example, in the preseason videos and podcasts, many fans and players identified Wendell as a potential winner, but this is exactly the reason that I think he might lose. The cast has an incentive to get rid of strong players before they get too far. I predicted that Navidi would win the early challenges because they are a physically stronger tribe. They have 2 strong men in Chris and Sebastian, 2 men who could build a good shelter, Dominic and Wendell, and people who are good swimmers with the ability to fish for food, Chris, Seabass, and Morgan. Furthermore, no member of this tribe is a physical liability. I believe that because the reduced amount of rations given to the tribes this season, physicality and ability to live off the land will be more important. It's a good thing there will be a tribe shakeup next episode, because given their performance in the last challenge, I don't see how Malolo will be able to feed itself. In my pre-game assessment, I thought that Gonzalez was the one person on this tribe who had potential as a fish gatherer. Although I liked Donathan, I hated to see Gonzalez go. All right, thanks, Ed. Good to hear from you. Up next, we have a voice clip from JayWaffles.
JayWaffles back.
Hey, Joanne and Stacy. This is JayWaffles from Canada with some feedback for the first 2 episodes of Survivor Ghost Island. Now, it's been a minute since I've last submitted feedback, but I'm in the background listening to the podcast, loving the listener feedback. It's too bad that the Castaway interviews aren't going forward as planned. I really enjoyed that segment. That's just CBS's short-sightedness in supporting the podcast and the fandom here, but maybe we'll get them next season. So I'm not playing JSFL this year, but I wanted to submit some feedback and some of my thoughts for this episode and some surprises. Like you, I was fairly shocked to see how well Stephanie has gone into the game. Some other favorites that I have are Desiree and the furniture maker whose name escapes me right now, but I'm pretty impressed with them. Some people that I could do without. Honestly, Donathan, it's going to be a tough one to get through this season with him. I'm wondering if he'll get the most improved survivor over time, but I'm not even sure if that's going to happen. Chris also, I don't have a very good view or read on Chris. He really, really plays that alpha male and really wants to be that leader that the title that he gave himself at the very beginning. It's also it's funny to see him because he clearly skips leg days when he goes to the gym. He's got these tiny little twig legs and this massive upper body, so maybe he's an upper body model. I'm not really sure. So anyway, we'll be watching. Again, I appreciate everything that you do and the fans do, and look forward to see what's going to happen down the road. Thanks very much, and bye. Oh, just one quick little thing. Did anyone else notice that first beach where the castaways landed was that beach from that silly, ill-fated family challenge that they did last season? I just sort of noticed it and thought it was funny and was brought back to last season. All right, thanks again. Bye.
I would not have put that together. Thanks,
Good eye.
JayWaffles.
Yeah, good eye. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, I
like
can
little
see
things
it
like
when
that.
he says that.
Yeah.
You know that. Oh yeah, that could be the same thing.
Great to have you back. Next up, got a call from Paul.
Hey, Paul from Louisiana here, and all I can say is if the rest of this season runs as exciting as these first 2 episodes were, well, we're going to have a great time. So, Stephanie J, or from here on out, just plain Stephanie. Wow, did I ever misread her? And Stacy, what a USB you have there. She worked over Jacob with an ease and effortlessness that impressed me to no end. I now have her in my final 3. So I want her and Morgan to be on the same tribe after the swap to see just how Stephanie handles this. She appears to be able to keep a secret, and that ability alone can take her all the way to the end. And speaking of USBs, let's talk about James a little bit here. His performance there in the water had my jaw on the floor. I really think he was afraid to get his face wet, and when Donathan successfully picks up your slack, well, that's a problem. As you may recall, James is my USB, or rather, he was my USB, until Tuesday when, against my better judgment, I went and switched over to Desiree. What a great move on my part.
Yeah.
So let's talk about
Brilliant.
Desiree. I feel good about her. She's there in the edit without being overly focused on as Jacob and Gonzalez were. And let's face it, there's just something about Desiree that can barely be contained. I am so thrilled that I pulled a bullet time move and dodged the disaster known as James. And Jacob, did I ever misread you? I really thought you'd be a social threat, but I thought it would be to everyone else and not yourself. It all seemed to be just too much for him to handle, right up to his "you have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason" quote, which he spoke while voting for Michael at Tribal. I did feel somewhat sorry for him as he left, but I just can't get that image of him dancing around and being so excited after his tribe lost and he thought he'd go back to Ghost Island. I laughed out loud when the name Donathan came out instead, and Jacob's heart broke. Well, he can take solace in the fact that he wasn't the first one voted off. So, me, I was glad to see Gonzalez go after she started running around Tribal whispering in people's ears. I hate that, and I want Jeff to tell people that they need to talk to everyone or no one at all. Tribals are a disaster to me when there's no control, and I think it makes Jeff look bad. Hey, if he hears that, I might be able to nip this in the bud for next season. And Dominic, well, come on. He almost literally found the idol blindfolded, which tells me that they need to hide things better. Or was it a clue? Yeah, it was a clue. At any rate, I wish these things weren't found this easily. Oh, and when he immediately flip-flopped to Chris on whether he had an idol or not, well, that was a dumb move. The Tony curse may very well be in effect here. And I will admit that I did sweat a little bit when I saw that the reward included a beach chair. And did Donathan burn his "you lose" notice? I hope he didn't, because it helps prove that he found nothing at Ghost Island. I hate to say it, but Ghost Island may just turn out to be a 3-day reprieve from being voted off. A little alone time before you get the boot. I don't think that's what it's supposed to be, but I can easily see that happening. Oh well, I wanted to run down everyone, but I think I've talked a little bit too much. With a mix-up occurring already, who knows who's going to go next, but I do fear for Donathan. So I hope everyone enjoyed the episode as much as I did. Take care now. Bye.
Didn't Donathan... Thanks, Paul.
Yes.
Didn't Donathan only stay over one night?
Yeah, that's a one-night deal.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought so. I thought, wait a minute. I thought Jeff said we'll see you tomorrow after... So... After Tribal canceled tonight.
Yep.
Okay, so he was just over there for the night. But
Yeah.
I don't know about the other two. I didn't
Same with
figure that
Jacob,
out.
yeah.
Okay, here's something Paul made me think of. What do you think Dominic's reasoning was in his head for telling Chris he has an idol, but doing the whole fake idol? Is he planning to give it to him?
Yeah, he was trust building. It was all an attempt to build trust.
But couldn't that backfire because he does actually have an idol?
Sure. Yep.
But so he's what he said to him was, "I'm willing to play this for anyone."
Yes.
Well, yeah, but as soon as they find out that it's not, if you build an alliance on that. But I guess he's just working with Chris in his mind.
Yeah, I don't know that he plans to be with Chris long term.
Yeah, just wasn't quite.
He wants
sure
to lull him
where he's
into
going
some
with that,
security, and then he wants to whack him.
Well, I think the whole idea was just so he wouldn't vote for him.
Mm-hmm. Try to throw the heat off, yeah.
But that doesn't mean he won't vote for him.
Especially given how bad he botched
the
it.
idol, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely.
Okie dokie.
Well, good job, Paul. Oh, with the stupid fans comment, and then there's a different kind of fan. One of the things, I guess it was because you said stupid fan in the previous feedback there, that it made me think of stupor. I think instead of super fan, sometimes we get a stupor fan.
Stupor fan.
Yeah, they're in a stupor while they're out there. They've lost their senses. When they end up out there and get overwhelmed. So I think sometimes we get stupor fans instead of super fans when it comes to playing the game.
They've been zapped by the wand.
Yeah. Yep.
I like that. Now all I can hear is
stupefy. Yes.
Okay, let's get back on target.
Yeah, and we want to say a big thank you to everybody who took time to send in your thoughts about the first 2 episodes here and your insights on the premiere of Ghost Island. Good job. You guys did fantastic. We also would like to thank L.H. Raip for your very nice rating and review on iTunes. We appreciate it. That's one way to help get the word out about the podcast. We don't do ads. We're not trying to build a ginormous community and get funds or anything. This is I guess it's a hobby for us, right? We just do it because we enjoy it so much and have such a good time talking with you guys about Survivor and watching the big social experiment, as Probst calls it.
We love the show. What can you say?
There's where we are. So you giving back by throwing a nice review up there and a nice comment, we appreciate it. That's one way to give back to the podcast. Thank you so much.
Okay, if you play in our fantasy league, don't forget, get your picks in before the deadline on Wednesday, 7:30 Eastern Time, 4:30 Pacific.
Always a good reminder.
Yes, it is.
Anything else you'd like to add before we go to the full version of Aaron's wonderful remix for us?
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
No, I don't believe so. I think everything I thought about during we brought up. So
yeah, thanks so much for bringing more enjoyment to the show we love. Have a good one.